Are you going through a Jonah of a time? In Jonah chapter 2 and verse 5, I want to read these words to you, and I want to see if this resembles something that you're going through right now in your life. It says, "The waters compassed me about, even to the soul. The depth closed me round about. The weeds were wrapped around my head. I went down to the bottoms of the mountains. The earth with her bars was about me forever." And do you feel like that right now? Is there something in your life right now that you feel like you are sinking to the bottom? You can see the sunlight faded. You can see the bubbles going up around you. You feel like that you are drowning. Well, Jonah definitely was, and he thought it was the end until he prayed out to God, and God sent the fish to swallow Jonah. And if we back up, it says that in verse 17 of chapter 1, "Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah." You know, sometimes when we're in these situations, these Jonah situations where we feel so overwhelmed and like everything is just going to take us out, we cry out to God, and God does deliver. God sends something our way. Just most likely it's not exactly what we expected. Like, I'm sure Jonah did not expect a fish to come and rescue him from the bottoms of the earth where he felt like he was drowning. There's a couple things to think about in Jonah's life. And also in verse 15, chapter 1, it says, "So they took Jonah up and they cast him forth into the sea, and the sea ceased from the raging. Then the men feared the Lord exceedingly, and offered a sacrifice unto the Lord, and made vows." These are men that were on this ship that did not even believe and worship the God that our God, the God that Jonah serves. Because of this very circumstance in his life, what was going on, it made an avenue for these people to come to know the Lord. So I just think about what you're going through and the people that are around you that may not even believe or serve the God, the great God Almighty. Think about the opportunity that you have through your circumstance to lead them to you. Now, if you are in a Jonah situation, I want you to be encouraged, because God does hear your prayers. In fact, and I want to remind you of this, one of my favorite verses in the book of 1 Peter, it says, 1 Peter 5:6 says, "Humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time." See, it's due time. Not our time, but due time, when he knows, and he knows exactly the vehicle of preparation that he needs to come and swallow you up. He knows exactly what he needs to develop you, to refresh you, to cleanse you, to giving you strength. He knows exactly. He created you, and he knows exactly all those things that he will be able to do. I hope today, if you're having a Jonah kind of day, that you will just cry out to the Lord, and to be with anticipation and excitement, be waiting for him to bring that fish to swallow you up, to put you where you need to be. But while you're there, just reminisce on what God has done for you. Be encouraged about all the things. Just like Moses, line everything up that he has done for you. Remember how faithful he's been to you. Remember how he's always showed up. He's always been there. When you're having a Jonah kind of day, use those times to remember that God will deliver. God will show up in a mighty way. I hope you have a very blessed day.